today's video, we're going to be going over how to get rid of spider mites, and the first question is, how do I know if I have them? So first things first, I'm pointing out here, this is some, little silvery stippling or dots on my leaves that I noticed on my alocasia. This is one of the telltale signs that you might be dealing with spider mites, are these little dots, and they're one of the earlier signs. You can also see webbing on your leaves, and if you look on the underside of them, you will often find small little white dots that are the eggs of your spider mites. The actual spider mites are really hard to see because they are so small. In just a second, I grabbed a magnifying extension for my phone camera so that you could see them up close. But normally with the naked eye, they are really hard to see. They move so slowly because they are so small, they can just be hard to spot. But if you see eggs, if you see webbing around your leaves, and if you see little spider mites moving around, if you look very closely, you know that's what you're dealing with. You can see here in my close-up the spider mites moving around. That top one that's a little more darker brown is an adult spider mite. The one below it that's a little more translucent white is a juvenile spider mite, and those white dots are the eggs of the spider mite. And it looks like I'm dealing with some two-spotted spider mites. They're very common for indoor houseplants. There are many ways to get rid of spider mites. You can go the essential oil route and use something like spearmint oil. I've also heard that rosemary or cinnamon, eucalyptus, or even lemon works pretty well too. You can also, go online or to a store and buy miticide that's specific towards killing mites. I decided, and what I'll be showing you today, is to use water, rubbing alcohol, and neem oil to get rid of mine. But just so you know, there's lots of ways that you can go about this, but the way I'm showing you today happened to work for me because I did not have a very severe infestation of spider mites. So my first step was putting my alocasia in the shower, then getting some lukewarm water, not too hot, not too cold, and then literally just turning on the shower to wipe off the spider mites. It surprisingly does a lot of good just to use water coming down and wiping off all the webbing, all the mites, and all their eggs. Next, I got some just normal rubbing alcohol and I put it into this spray bottle here, and I was able to spray it onto these paper towels, and I just wipe down the leaves. I tried to be aggressive enough to get off the eggs, but not too much to harm my leaves. The alcohol literally just sucks up moisture out of the little spider mites' bodies and kills them, as well as kills any eggs that are remaining. And you're gonna have to do this maybe a few times depending on if they come back and if you missed a few. So just expect that if you are dealing with spider mites, you might have to put it back into the shower and do this whole process again as many times as needed. Spider mites, they are known for coming back and building up resistance against different methods that you use against them. So they're hardy little insects, and you might have to try a few things to get rid of them for good. I'm just rinsing down my alocasia a second time to get off any remaining alcohol because I don't really want that sitting on my plant, as well as to wipe off any extra eggs or spider mites that I missed. And here we are with my alocasia all cleaned up after being rinsed and using alcohol and then rinsed again. I may have to do this a few more times, like I said. I may have to try something else if this doesn't work that great. I am going to be spraying my plant with neem oil later, but right now I'm kind of just going through and spot checking, making sure I didn't miss any eggs, I didn't miss any mites or webbing. I just want to get it all gone. Because like I said, these guys are known for coming back time and time again. So just make a habit of checking on the plant that has been struggling with spider mites every few days or every day if possible. Last little tip, When you are using neem oil, if you are, just be sure to spray it or rub it onto the undersides of your leaves because that is usually where those spider mites are. And I really hope that this video helped you get rid of your spider mites or start to get rid of them, because I know how frustrating they can be. And if you would like, please consider subscribing. It really helps me out and support my family. Thank you guys.